A friend like you is a friend like me, and a friend like us is a friend like we. Even though that song makes no sense, you'll have it stuck in your head. How is a friend like us is a friend like we? They just wanted to rhyme. They don't care if it makes sense. Anyway, hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not welcome back to Halloween Horror Month. We're gonna talk about Mr. Crocket today. Yeah. So I knew this came out last year, part of Halloween or whatever. I don't have Hulu, and I have Disney Plus, but it's supposed to be the basic package that doesn't give me Hulu. Apparently that's changed. I don't know. I'll go with it till I can't no more. So now some stuff from Hulu is available to me. So I decided to watch Mr. Crocket, which is, a lot of horror movies that say, we'll take what makes kids safe, like a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic, Freddy's, Five Nights at Freddy's, right? Or we take well-beloved kids TV show from the 70s, Banana Splits. We'll make that a horror. Hey, how about clowns? It, art, everything in between. Yes. So this is television hosts in the vein of LeVar Burton or Mr. Rogers. And growing up, there were some things on kids programming that were kind of freaky. Barney the Dinosaur. And have you seen Fofao? Look it up. Fofao. Fofao. It was a Brazilian children's show with a guy in a giant suit. And just look it up. Fofao. 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 Yeah. So, yeah. And I remember I saw the poster and it immediately reminded me of David Alan Grier in Living Color. It's not David Alan Grier, but that's what it reminded me of. He had a character on that show named Loomis Simmons. And he kind of had that smile with the mustache and a little afro. Hello, I'm Loomis Simmons. That's what it reminded me of. That's what this character kind of reminds me of a little bit. Although Loomis Simmons was not a children's television host, but that's just what it reminded me of. The way he dressed and everything. Yeah. Look up those sketches too. Those are kind of funny. The story of this movie is that Mr. Crocket is abducting children who are being abused, and they are, except for one, and that's where I have my issue. He goes after children's, like Homie the Clown. Hello, children's. No, he's going after children who have abusive parents, but one of them doesn't make sense to me. We'll get to it. But yes, we start. It takes place in the 90s, which makes a lot of sense. That's the height of these television hosts reading Rainbow and Mr. Rogers and everything. That's the height of them, because they kind of went away in the 2000s. They were still around a little bit, and then they kind of just, Mr. Rogers died, so that kind of changed. And then they got rid of reading Rainbow, and now our so-called Presidente wants to get rid of PBS altogether. I'm not talking politics, so I'll just move on. But PBS was my childhood, by the way, because there was a time we didn't have cable. We only had to rely on local channels, and that was PBS, man. We grew up with that shit. So yes, it means a lot to me. So, but yeah, yeah. So it takes place in the beginning of this takes place in 1993. I thought there was going to be a bigger time jump, but apparently it's only a year time jump. But We start with this woman, Ramona. Okay, I need to look it up. You know names are hard for me. Why can't I have one controller that controls everything? And then that's gonna cause problems. It's not what I wanted. Why did you click it? That's not what you wanted. What the? Come on. Wait. No, I ain't giving you money, Wikipedia. I have to keep my eye on that Y2K soundtrack. Alright. Me, sir. Me, sir Crocket. Okay. Darren's mother. It just says Darren's mother. Rhonda. I was close. Rhonda. Rhonda and her husband are getting ready to enjoy dinner, and their son Darren is enjoying some Mr. Crockett's World on the TV, and then it's shown that they appear in the free libraries that'll pop up. I don't understand how those work, because there are way too many people that won't obey that. You don't know what a free library is. It's a little square box. People find, and you can go in there and you can take something, and you got to bring it back. I wouldn't trust anyone to do that. That just doesn't. No. But the Mr. Crocket tape appears in there, and for some reason I thought that it would be, one at a time. But it's shown that there are 2 tapes in circulation at a time, at least 2. Right? But yeah. Well, it turns out that this guy is Darren's stepfather, and he's mistreating him completely because he's taking too long to eat his food. Like, we had a thing back in the day. You didn't eat your food, you had to sit at the table until you were done. Which most of the time was my sister, and one time she fell asleep on her macaroni and cheese. It happened, but that was the thing. You sat there till you finished your food. Right? But he's being very abusive. So the Mr. Crocket comes out of the TV and attacks him with his friend Mr. Chair. What he does to Kevin, the stepdad, he's like, well, you need to eat your food. Get this disgusting food stuff that's on the table. And because Kevin, the stepdad, won't open his mouth, he decides to slash him in the gut and shove it in there. And I don't think that's how digestion works. He even has an iron. And then, obviously Kevin dies. And then he disappears with Darren into the TV. And he sends out a message to all the boys and girls, if you need me, you call me, I will be there. If you need me. Oh, yeah. We cut to 1 year later. And Beverly Summerlee, I fused the name to Summer is struggling because her husband just passed away, and her little shit of a kid named Major, that's not a name, it's a rank. She gave me a Major. I'm like, Major who? Huh? That's the kid's name? That's not a name. That is not a name. No, he's a little shit. Okay? He's a little shit. Which is why Mr. Crocket showing up makes no sense. Because she's not abusing her child in any way, shape, or form. He's being a little shit. Blowing a goddamn whistle all the time. Oh. Now, I don't hit children. I wouldn't do that. But I ain't gonna stand for the shit that he does. I put my foot down. And I thought I was still in a garbage compactor. Okay? Now I'm putting my foot down. Ain't no way. This kid. No. My son and I have an understanding. He does not behave like that. No. This just goes to tell you that maybe the dad was more the disciplinarian than she was, and then he's gone. The kid thinks he can do what he wants now. I don't know. But the thing is, she's uncontrollable. She finds the tape in the free library and puts it on. And this is where we see that there's more than one tape, because we cut to this guy Bill, who is a drug abuser. Okay. So I don't know if he was abusive to her, but he's doing drugs, so that's not good to do drugs with your kid around, so he kills him, and then he takes the little girl away. So then they're somehow watching the same tape. There's more than one tape in circulation, I guess. Yeah. So they have the funeral, and this is probably before this, and this is when Rhonda, now disheveled and homeless, comes up. She starts singing the theme song and says, he's coming for you. You get away. She's all cuckoo bananas at this point, and yeah. Well, that night, Mr. Crocket, for some reason, comes for Major. And the only way I can think of is because the script says so, because he wasn't abused. The kid was a little shit. He wasn't getting abused. I don't get it. I don't get it. Because the whole thing is like, if children are being treated wrongly, he's not really. I don't know. Maybe he's just coming after all the children, and they're just using that as an excuse. I don't know. But he uses a magic marker to create a portal, which I thought was pretty cool. And so he takes him to his little world, and it looks fun and happy and everything. And then you see little cracks of, oh, this might not be as good as happy and go lucky as you think it would. She finds she finds out about Bill's death, and figures they are connected because his child is also missing, so it's hers. And she begins to research, find out his name is Emmanuel Crocket, and he was a children's show host that died in 1979 after kidnapping a boy named Anthony Williams. Plot point. That was an important plot point. She meets up with a guy named Eddie, who was at the crime scene, Bill's house, and believes the story because Mr. Crocket kidnapped his daughter. Now, he says that she's the only one to survive. It's very important that he doesn't say we. He says, you're the only parent to survive. And she's like, wait, no, there was someone else, a woman. And that's what they find out about Rhonda. The three of them are going to team together to take down Mr. Crocket and find out where he was. Apparently, Mr. Crocket took his eye. I don't know if I said that, but so Rhonda then tells them that Mr. Crockett's powers tied to the airwaves. Apparently, the TV. So she's used a bunch of TVs to connect to them so she can go after Mr. Crocket. So, yeah, they do that. Going to someone else's house for this. Yeah. And Mr. Crocket ends up stabbing Rhonda while Summer and Eddie jump through the portal and find the very nightmarish version of Mr. Crockett's world. That is just it's very dark, and all the kids there. Yeah. They're under his control. White eyes. Pretty weird. Yeah. Summer is restrained by the two monstrous versions of Squawky Bird and Boogaloo Blue, apparently is their name. Mr. Crocket then tells his origin story. He killed his abusive father because he couldn't take it anymore. Made it look like an accident. And it motivated himself to help neglected children. Again, I don't see how Major fits into this at all. He's not neglected. Whatever. He was a children's entertainer. Of course he was. And created his show. And during a taping, he met a little boy named Anthony. And realized Anthony was being abused. So, Mr. Crocket invited him to his house, which is creepy. But I will admit, it does sound like he had good intentions. It just, that's not what you do. Yeah, the police considered it a kidnapping and went after him. This is all done in cartoon, by the way, which is really weird. But, yeah. He hid Anthony in the closet, and the cops showed up. In the cartoon, it shows Mr. Crocket just leaping on some dude with the Wilhelm scream. And when Anthony just comes running out of the closet, the cops just fucking shoot at him. Without worst cops ever. You have to assess the situation. You do not just fire your gun at will. Mr. Crocket jumps in the way and saves him. Yeah. And after dying, Mr. Crocket made a deal with the devil, because of course he did, to deliver the souls of abusive parents in exchange for coming back to life with supernatural powers to protect the children. Again, none of this fits in to Summer and Major at all. I don't know why Major was taken. Just because she put on the videotape, I don't. But it said that the videotape will find. That doesn't make any sense. And he saved these kids to become his new family. Whatever. And then this is where it's obviously revealed that Eddie is actually Anthony. As if cutting back to him during the story and seeing how wide-eyed and he is about the whole. Yeah, I was like, okay, so that's obviously him. And he used Summer to get back here. Mr. Crocket says, no, you're not the. Anthony's an innocent little boy. You're a grown little man that wasted his life because of an obsession. So he kills him. Yeah. Well, he orders Boogaloo Blue to maul Eddie to death, so. Yeah. And then says, Major, why don't you decide where you want to go? And he chooses Mr. Crocket. Though she does try to entice him with the whistle, and I went, stupid fucking whistle. And it looks like he's chosen Mr. Crocket. However, no. It looks like he's about to stab his own mother with the sword. Actually, he has the marker, the magic marker. So Summer uses it to slice Mr. Crocket in half, and she gets the kids and they leave. They go to the real world, everything. Mr. Crocket vows revenge as his insides are falling out everywhere. And, yes, and he says he's watching Major, and if you ever need me, I'll be there. Yeah. Rhonda, still alive after being attacked, reunites with Darren, and, yes, Summer and Major are now better together, and everything is getting back to normal now. But then, Summer is brought to Major's school. It's still not a name. And told by his teacher that he's had aggressive behavior, and it's all because of the new father figure in his life. She's like, well, I don't have any relationship. I'm not dating anyone. Apparently there's a new father figure in his life, and he said that if any of you kids mess with them, his father will come and take them. Yeah, Mr. Crockett's still influencing him, so yeah. This is what frustrates me though about movies nowadays. The dude is dead. Like I understand that he's in the nightmare world. He's the deal with the devil. Sure, he can come back. You can have him come back many times at this deal with the devil, but I don't know. It's just like we have to write it that way so we have an excuse, and just in case it's popular enough to make a sequel. Nothing can just be, one and done, cut and dry, dead, and we figure out a way to bring them back for a sequel if it makes enough money. No, we always have to set up for a sequel nowadays. We can't just make a movie to make a movie. We have to make a movie with a franchise in mind, right? Because a lot of things, we're going to do this movie, and if it's successful, we'll do sequels. Just focus on that movie. That's why the Dark Universe didn't work. Because they were more concerned about doing a universe. And that's why these universes don't work, because they want to rush to it. Right? Marvel had the leg up. It didn't. Iron Man is its own thing, and they teased there could be more. Right? Man of Steel was also its own thing, but that's not what was supposed to be the first chapter. Justice League Mortal was, which would just introduce the Justice League without any other introduction because they wanted to get ahead of Marvel. But it took too long to get going, and by then, the Avengers was out, and they said, okay, let's just do our own thing. And they still didn't have the patience to do it all, and went from the equivalent of Iron Man to Civil War, to Captain America, the first Avenger, to Guardians of the Galaxy. They just hopped around too much. And James Gunn still hasn't learned the lesson, even though he's trying to do things. He's like, I'm going to do Superman, and if it succeeds, we'll do more projects. And now he's done that, and it's like, hey, Superman Saga. I'm like, you still don't know what you're fucking doing. You cannot just have a project and say, that's good, we'll focus on this. I get that, but if you're trying to make a universe, do that. Don't just say, that did good, let's just keep with this. You're not going to get anywhere, right? Now, this is a rant, and a movie that has nothing to do with this, so I'm sorry. But I enjoyed this. I did. When it comes to Mr. Crocket, I enjoyed it. It's fine. I'll give it middle of the road. I will. I just, So, what are your thoughts on Mr. Crocket? Leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.